This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Get ready for an epic collaboration as MB Radio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch, veteran-run podcasts, along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MB Radio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world.
Welcome, everybody. This is Caesar with the Battle Rhythm Podcast. I am live on Military Broadcast Radio, and I'm coming to you live from the VFW National Convention in Louisville, Kentucky. I am proud, actually, right now that I'm being hosted by the Alabama Hospitality Room. The Department of Alabama is in the house. Y'all know that I'm from Texas, right? So hook 'em horns. All right, here we go. Now we got that out of the way. You guys,
roll tide.
Because this has been a phenomenal week all week. I've met so many people from throughout the entire country. People from Maryland, people from Alabama, of course, Louisiana. Everybody that's here, every department is here and is present, and we are making a big noise. The cops have been called a couple of times to different rooms because they've been out past 10 o'clock, past the curfew that they're allowed. You think veterans care? Veterans don't care. We will party until we can, right? Am I wrong? That's right. See, I'm telling you, it's a crazy thing. But just so you guys know, I have a big show today. I have 3 of 4 candidates for the National Junior Vice Commander-in-Chief. They're coming out today. I'm going to be interviewing and asking them the hard questions today because this is the first time in a long time that they actually all of them have been together in the same area, because they're all living in different towns and they've been campaigning, they've been in the trail, so nobody has really gotten to sit down with them and ask them how it's going, what their plans are for the next couple of years, and what are they thinking if they do get elected and everything. So that's what's going to happen. But first of all, I just want you guys to know that Alabama has been such a gracious host. As soon as I walked in, there was an Alabama slammer in my hand. And next thing I know, there was another one. And they say, hey, try this food over here. And by the time I got done, I tell you what, I probably gained about 10 pounds so far. And none of it has been wasted because it's so good. So thank you guys for the hospitality. I really appreciate you guys being such a great host. And I hope that I get to cross paths with all of y'all in the future endeavors. So thank you guys so much for that. So with that, so you guys know we are live on Military Broadcast Radio, also on Roku TV, and started August 1st. We will start going on Patriot Radio and also on Roku TV. And of course, we have the MBR channels and the Facebook channels and all that stuff. that we got going on right now. So we are live. We're taking phone calls. The phone number to call into the studio is 720-619-0627 if you want to be part of this conversation. Because, like I said, all of these guys that are actually here have some type of agenda. I don't mean in a bad way. Is that they have a vision for the VFW and what they're going. And I keep saying all the time, because I'm a part of the VFW, it doesn't mean that I'm biased in regards to all the organizations. The VFW has been leading the way in over 125 years that this organization has been together. We have been leading the way in getting things started. And every other organization that's out there for veterans, or like the American Legion and everybody else, they are with us doing all this stuff together when we actually go into Congress, congressional hearings, stuff like that. So it's not just the VFW, but the VFW has 1.5 million members that are strong right now, and we are growing. So with everybody else that's not eligible for the VFW, they have the other organizations. They're actually able to come with us, and we'll lobby into Congress, and we're able to get things passed for every veteran out there, not just VFW, but every veteran. So that's what the VFW is so great about, because we are leading the way with everybody, but we're also working in conjunction with all the other organizations. And there are many organizations out there, and let you guys know that my show is trying to highlight those organizations and resources that are out there for veterans to actually use. Right? To be that we go hunting, we go fishing, we go do everything you can think of that has to do with either mental health help, and also with physical help and things like that. That's what this show, and that's what the station is about: giving veterans a voice and allowing us to actually do what we do. So, hey, I actually have well, you guys already know that Grizz is on the other side, so he's coming live from Washington. What's going on there, Grizz?
Not much. How are you?
I'm living the dream one arm at a time, man. I mean, I'm sitting here and I've heard so many dad jokes that you'd be rolling dead right now. You know that, right?
Hey, I seen one driving up. Why do pigs make a bad driver?
Why do pigs make a bad driver? I don't know.
Because they hog the road.
Because they hog the road. Oh, boo. Wow. Okay, yeah. Well, you do have young kids, so that's probably I'll allow it. How's that? So
okay.
But hey, I heard you went out. You sent me a picture of when you went out to the Pacific. And you actually caught a 30-pound king salmon.
I did. Well, okay. We went out for our anniversary. We went on a rockfish and link cod trip. I personally didn't catch that big king. The smaller one, the coho, I caught. I just took a picture with that king because that was a huge.
Oh.
Huge.
You're like, look, Ma, I didn't catch this.
yeah. You know, I'm not gonna say I caught it when we're on all over the place streaming,
right.
But I personally didn't catch that one. I just wanted a picture with it. And the bad thing is I was holding it with my left arm, and that's the arm I just had a year or last October had surgery on my shoulder.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I could barely hold that fish up. I mean, it tipped the scale at 30. We don't know if it went past that, but it pegged a 30-pound scale.
Got it. All right. Well, dude, I'm glad you actually was that part of one of the organizations that actually sent you out there?
No, that was just what we decided to do for our anniversary because our anniversary was yesterday.
Well, happy anniversary.
Well, thank you.
It's been a year. 65
no,
years?
a year.
Oh, a year.
A year.
Oh, you're still a baby.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. But we went fishing. I feel bad. My wife got seasick and she didn't really get to enjoy herself.
She didn't get her sea legs.
Yeah, but man, once we got on the school of rockfish, holy crap, dude, we caught 98 of them on that boat in 30 minutes.
Oh, nice. That's cool. So, yeah. All right. Well, hey, dude, so I have people waiting for them to actually come on because they're excited about this thing. And as soon as I told them that I was actually going to do the podcast live, they're like, "Oh man, you cut into our drinking time." so I'm like, I'm hogging up a whole corner over here. They're like, "Man, you need to go do this somewhere else." So,
you can make sure you tell your guests that you're live on Roku TV and Amazon.
We are live on Roku TV. That's right. So. We tried to pull it up, but for whatever reason, how the hotels have the already prescripted remote controls.
Yeah.
We weren't able to pull it up, but some people actually left back to the room and actually watching it on live right now. So,
right on.
We're gonna be good. Yeah. So, but where are we at right now as far as our time? So we are 10 minutes in. So let's do this. Let's take our first break, and then we'll come back, and we're gonna start off with the candidate from Alabama, Scott Giedling, because since he is hosting tonight, it's only fair that he gets the first shot, and for me to actually hit him in the ribs a couple times, so he knows exactly where those are coming. So everybody else, the candidate from Louisiana, Bobby LeBurn, he knows exactly where it's going to come. But you know what? Those things those questions are going to be all different. So no, they're not. They're all the same. They're all the same questions, but they're all fair. So let's take a break. We're going to come back, and then when you guys are ready, we're going to come back with Scott Giedling. These are going to be our interviews of the week. So we're excited about that. So we're going to come back, and we're going to do.
Are open.
What's that? The lines are open. I mean, do we have people already calling in?
No, I'm just letting your viewers know that the phone lines are open.
Yeah. Here we go. They're live. Hey, if you guys want to call in because you guys can't hear anything, the lines are open. 720-619-0627. That is the line to our show. So let me get Scott in so we can actually get started. So here we go. All right. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and hear this. So stay tuned. You're listening to the Battle Rhythm Podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and Patriot TV, Roku TV, Facebook, YouTube, and all the other handles. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Get ready for an epic collaboration as MB Radio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch, veteran-run podcasts, along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MB Radio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world.
Too big, wanting to grow up way too quick, searching for spotlights since I was 6. Hello, my name is Dream Too Big. Hello, my name is way too loud. My voice can cut right through a crowd. Got made fun of for it, but who's laughing now? Hello, my name is way too loud. I know I've had my moments and I've had heartaches. God is making miracles out of my mistakes. You can say I won't make it, and I can tell you that I don't really care. 'Cause hello, my name is going somewhere. Far. Lost all my words in a mason jar. Locked eyes with a stranger at the end of the bar. Hello, my name is You'll Go Far. Well, hello, my name is One More Try. I put too much stock in bad advice. 'Cause anything worth leaving is worth loving twice. You can You're never gonna leave the ground. You can tell us all about it when you come back around. Hello, my name is Get Knocked Down. Hello, my name is Stand Back Up. Keep moving even when it gets rough. I've given so much, but I ain't giving up. Hello, my name is Stand Back Up. I know I've had my moments and I've had heartaches, but God is making miracles out of my mistakes. You can say I won't make it, and I can tell you that I don't really care. 'Cause hello, my name is going somewhere. Going somewhere. Oh, it's going
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Thayer. I love that song. It's pretty cool. She's actually been on the Big Listen show, so it's cool. But I want to introduce someone here real quick. But before I introduce him, I want to. I start, I want to make a big announcement. There's actually a few people that I want to recognize that are here with us today. I have the current state commander from Oklahoma. So, Darian, thank you for being here. The past state commander from Oklahoma is here as well. The current state commander from Alabama. The past state commander from Louisiana, who is actually also running, Bobby Laverne, is here. And the past state commander from Texas, Lynn Toomer, is here as well. So, yeah, see, that's my Marine over there getting over there. So, those are the people, those are the big VIP people. I'm sure there are other people here, but those are the ones that told me to say. So, the current Louisiana state commander, correct? Yes, I apologize. I am so sorry. You snuck in on me. I didn't see you come in. So I apologize. So we're here, but we're here live, and we're gonna roll right into our interview of the week. All right, so let's run into our interview of the week, and we're having trouble with it. So what is going on right now? But anyway, Scott Gedling is here with us today. Scott, how are you, sir?
I'm great.
Yeah, I think
Great day to be American.
All right, so Scott is the current candidate from the state of Alabama. He is actually here, and I met him back in last month in Texas at our OTS in July. That's the first time I met. And when I started talking to him, I told him, I said, you know what, Alabama has a big area in my heart. because I deployed with one of the units in Alabama. The first, the 173rd, which is the Warlock, right? That was Lieutenant Colonel Locke, and the XO was Major William Hurd, and then Robert Till was a Sergeant Major. So that's the trio that I was working with, and actually I worked more with William Hurd than I did with anybody else. So it was super cool. And when I said, "Do you know this person?" It's like, "Yeah, he used to work for me as a lieutenant." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So it is the craziest connection, and it just goes to show you that the military is such a small community, and the fact that he knows somebody that I knew, it just tripped me out, and I really went back to my room and started crying because I missed being out in the front line. So I did. So, but Scott, I want to ask you a couple of things. So you're running for the National Junior Vice, correct?
Correct.
So how did you even come about to that decision? What made you want to come to do that?
Well, I've been in leadership in my whole life. I mean, and I've had some really big positions. I mean, I was the National Guard, full-time active duty guard. I did 32 years. I was a national chairman for the Plans and Ops Committee. And y'all know how that goes. That's like prima donnas. So, I mean, I did that. I never campaigned. So any of these jobs I had, I'm the vice chairman for the State Board of Veterans Affairs. I never campaigned for it. People just said, if I nominate you, will you do it? And a step forward. Preacher always told me, if not then who? And so I've been the department commander. I am currently the national council member for Alabama. And, I'm a long range thinker. So I'm thinking that how can I make a difference with our organization? Because every day is about making a difference for a veteran or a family's life. So,
yeah. Well, and then what has been your greatest, as far as being in the VFW, what is your greatest memory that you have that you love so much that you're like, man, I wish every day was like this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I've had all these positions and I've done all these kind of things. Probably the most rewarding for me is one day they called me and they said, "Hey, you know how this VA claims works? We got a veteran down here in the local city. Just got his letter back and he don't understand any of it." And so I go down and they're living in subsidized housing, but it's not bad. And so I go there, I sat down with a veteran, and he's a double amputee, which I thought was from the military, but turns out it was from diabetes. But him and his wife are there, and they got his letter from the VA. And so I'm reading it, and he was 100% total and disabled veteran. And so I'm explaining to him what that means, that, him and his wife were going to start getting a check for, $3,700 a month at the time. And they're just broken it down in tears. The wife's like, "You mean we can actually buy a house?"
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is making a difference.
Right.
If we can serve others, if we can connect with them and help them out in any way. So my whole life's been, you got to serve others.
Right.
You get out of the military, you're done with serving the country. So it's now about serving veterans and those out there.
Right. You say you did 33 years, right?
Yeah.
33 years. So of those 33 years, what is the worst thing that you went through aside from boot camp?
Well, so I'm kind of unique. I went through Officer Candidate School.
No, we're done here.
Hey, I went through at 19 years old. And so I was a 19-year-old second lieutenant. I caught hell. My whole family's enlisted. I was the only officer in the crowd.
You had to be the one, didn't you?
And so, I've had so many great experiences in the military. And I mean, I had a lot of challenges. I mean, this week marks the 20-year anniversary for me as a battalion commander in Iraq. And it was a very tough week. The 5th of August, where I was at, was kind of a bad week for coalition forces. And I had 700 soldiers, and fortunately, I had a lot of wounded, but I didn't have any casualties. But I dealt, because I was the largest American unit in the multinational division, and so I was the American unit, so I had to deal with all of the others, and some of it, to me, could have been avoided, right? Not because they were not my unit, but it's just so that's weighed on me heavy this week to think back about the challenges that we had and the perseverance and the coming together of soldiers in the face of diversity. And, that's for me, the huge responsibility is one of my toughest weeks. My toughest times was you know, the weight on my shoulders because, you know, I'm in a multinational division and I'm it for the U.S. You know, I'm the ranking guy, and until, you know, the crap really hit the fan. And of course we had lots of help come in to help us, but you know, it was a trying time for me. And so I think back about and just the sheer magnitude of what we did.
So you've been a part of this organization for how long?
I've been in the VFW since 2001, I think is what they say my date is. I earned eligibility from serving in Korea. So my parents were all VFW and auxiliary. My mother was the state president. So I'm sure I earned eligibility in 89. So somewhere in the 90s, I was probably a member a time or two.
Right.
My mom and dad signed me up. But, you know, I didn't get active till I retired in 13. And, you know, it's kind of ironic. I mean, I had a lot of rank. I came out with a master's degree, you know, been to Army War College and the top secret clearance. And all my buddies like, come be a defense contractor. And I'm like, you know what? Because I'm in defense capital of the world.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I said,
Huntsville.
you know what? I'm gonna not do that. I don't want to sit in the cubicle. I don't wear a coat and tie, and I don't really need that. So I'm just going to start serving a little bit. So I started helping out with a post, helping the old guys. We got a great flag program in our community. It's unbelievable. We lease flags to business. We're a small town. We have 180 businesses.
We got a phone call.
Yeah. Oh, we have actually.
Hey, welcome to Military Broadcast Radio and Patriot Radio. You're
Let me get that, Grizz.
The Battle Rhythm Podcast. And how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Hey, long time. Well, I guess I can't say long time listener. Probably short time listener, but always catch it. Hey, I just wanted I just wanted to let him know that it's not unforeseen that we his being an advocate for our soldiers. We just wanted to say thank you because sometimes we can think that it's kind of like a thankless job, and we don't realize we don't realize
the connection is bad
that it has on veterans, because usually, you know, yeah. So, hey, I just wanted to say thank you very much for doing what you do for veterans, and I'll let you go since the connection's kind of screwy.
Okay, have a good day.
Hey.
Bye.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. I think the connection was bad. The caller wanted to say thank you for everything that you do, both of you, to help veterans.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
The caller just wanted to say thank you for what you guys do with VFW for helping veterans.
Oh, okay. So that's what we're here for. Right? Like I said in the opening of the show, that this organization is leading the way in helping, you know, getting things into the Congress, and everybody else, other organization comes behind us and helps us get to to that hurdle, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, our mission for the VFW is to serve others, to serve veterans or military or families. But the other piece is to advocate on behalf of all veterans. And I think we've got the strongest organization.
Right.
Not because we're the biggest, but because we're the most credible. When we go to Congress, they listen.
Right. And right now, your current position within the VFW, I mean, you have several, right? Because you obviously the post level. Are you anything in the post level?
So I've been a post commander like 7 times, but I'm right now I'm the post service officer in the district service officer.
Okay. And then at the national level,
I'm the national council member for Alabama.
Right. And then for the state level, nothing?
No, I think I'm just.
Wow, you didn't. You fired him?
I'm an all-American veteran, and just I sat in the back of.
There, you fired him?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
No, it's giving somebody else opportunity.
Oh, okay, all right. That's what you're gonna go with. That's a very good political way of actually putting it.
I've had a lot of jobs in the VFW. Very few I've ever ran for.
I
mean, I think nobody ran against me as a junior vice, and this council member, maybe I had to campaign a little bit, but they just kind of throw me in there. I mean, when I told you I was a post commander in 2014 when I retired, the old guys called me down there to lunch one day at Burger King and said, "Hey, we're having lunch." Okay. You know, I've been helping with flag program, doing some other stuff. I go down there and there's 7 guys sitting around behind the bench and nobody's got any food. And I'm like, what is it? Well, it's an ambush.
Congratulations.
We want you to be the post commander. And I'm like, so here it is.
So, so now as far as running, we all know that all of these positions that you've held, they're all volunteer positions, right? They're all volunteers. So how much time and dedication do you actually have to put into, right? Okay, so just take the current one you have for the national.
Right.
How much time and effort and dedication do you have to put into this position?
Well, in addition to doing VFW, I'm a small business owner. I own
that was what I was trying to get lead to.
Pretty successful construction company now, and it always had been that way. We started out small, and now we're a good sized company. It allows me to give back a lot. I'm surrounding myself with good folks. I got people that can do that when I'm away. And, with the council, there's a lot. And then, I'm the vice chairman for the state board, which the governor is the chairman, so she doesn't come to meetings. So I'm the chairman of the board. And a lot of it overlaps because, with the state legislature, national legislation, and I think about veterans every single day. I mean, every day is Veterans Day for me. So when I go home, at night, it's just like, okay. But I never give up on the local stuff.
Right.
So, I'm still, Saturday morning, if I'm not on campaign trail, I'm out there pulling targets at a turkey shoot or building a wheelchair ramp.
So what is your vision for the VFW if you do get elected? Because I know it's going to be a 3, 4, 5 year process, but
Absolutely.
after the 3rd year, it's really when you're going to become the commander in chief. So what is your vision for the VFW if you do take office?
Okay, I think about in my leadership, in my life, there's a few things that shaped me, and one of them is I had a very, very senior leader telling all his leaders, which I was the lowest ranking guy in the room, but when you're in that senior leadership position, you should focus your time on doing those things that only you can do.
Right.
And so you have the platform. So I think, when you get to be the commander in chief, you need to be promoting this organization outside of the VFW. We need to be talking to Congress, VA, every military organization, building our branding, getting our marketing out, and working with corporate donors and CEOs and just letting America know what the VFW is and what we stand for. And I think my vision for the VFW, my slogan is ready for tomorrow, get it done today, but let's get back to why we're here.
Right.
Why do we have a VFW? And that was to make sure that every single veteran and their family is taken care of, but make sure every veteran receives the care and benefits they deserve, make sure their families are taken care of, and make sure that they're honored for the service and sacrifice that their family has made to this great country. And I truly believe if we stay focused on that mission, everything else comes together. We got to do why we're here,
right?
Why we exist.
Is there anything that you want to tell our viewers that it's talking about you? Because you always say the veterans are on our mind, right?
Right.
But is there anything that you would like for them to know about the passion you have for the VFW, or anything that people may not know about you?
I'm very passionate about our organization, and I'm always thinking about stuff. I lay awake at night, and it's just crazy. But what I would tell everybody else out there is not a member of the VFW is, one, if you can, join us.
Right.
And I say join us in action because we don't need to be status quo. We don't need to sit on our hands. We've got all the accomplishments with GI Bill, VA, all the things that the VFW has accomplished was based on action.
Right.
And then what I would tell America is you got to go to the polls and vote, whether it's state, local, or federal. We get our butts kicked all the time as veterans in elections or in legislation. I'm not going to say election, but legislation, because we don't get organized.
Right.
And we don't address those issues and let everybody know that we're veterans and we all vote. We all know what our civic responsibility and our duty is. So we're gonna go, but the people don't know that. So
Right.
The politicians take advantage of us. And I say for everybody out there is the VFW is 100% nonpartisan. We believe in holding both parties accountable, and that's what we're here for. We ain't about electing them. We're about making sure they're accountable to veterans
Right.
and their families and taking care of America. And just get out and vote.
Right.
Get out and make a difference. And as a veteran and a VFW member, get out and every day make somebody's life better. you know, the biggest impact we have is in our local communities when we get out and we see the impact that we made in a veteran's life.
Right.
Or whether it's advocating for legislation. I mean, if we get, you know, we got the PACT Act passed, that was huge. That made an impact on everybody's life out there.
And the VFW led the way, right?
We led the way. I mean, we led that charge, and it was a grassroots effort. I mean, we don't have time to listen to it, but I can tell you how our politicians in Alabama, the first time around, wasn't all for it, but we got their attention. And it made a difference in how that went. And it was a grassroots effort. Right. It's not what we do on Capitol Hill and in Commander-in-Chief's testimony. It's every single veteran going to the polls and letting them politicians know we vote.
And it's also important that our membership, right? So we always try to drive membership for us, right? For any post or any state or any department or whatever it is. Right. But if you're a veteran and you're eligible for the VFW, I'm telling you, it is probably one of the best things to do to join that, right? So I had a commander one time tell me, I said, there's two types of people that join the VFW. One, what can the VFW do for me, and what can I do for the VFW? Am I wrong?
Yep, absolutely.
Because we should be holding one another accountable, but yet those members help for us to have more voices in Congress and to do legislative things and to get these things passed, like the PAC Act, right?
And that's why I say join us in the action. Join our organization. I know you might have small kids. You might have a career going on right now. So if you become eligible, just sign up today and sign up for VFW Action Corps. And that's the link. Go to VFW.org and go to Action Corps, and you can help legislatively. Your voice, every single veteran and their family's voice matters.
Right.
And we can use that. And then when you get to a point in your life that you can become active, go join the post, join in the action.
Right.
Get out there and help veterans in the local community, make a difference in their lives, make a difference in the community's life, and let's just make this country better.
Yeah. Scott, I want to thank you for joining me today. Right. You've been a great host. Obviously, we're here live on the Alabama Hospitality Room, and I just can't get away from these people. Every time they're all tied. I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. But Scott, I wish you nothing but the best. I wish you good luck, because you still have one more year of campaigning. Absolutely. Right? And it's crucial. Right now, you're in crunch time, basically, because it's going to be.
We're not letting off the gas. We're going to every single state. We want to talk to the membership. And the membership should have the voice and the vote of who our elected leaders are in this organization, and that's who I want to talk to.
Yeah. So, Scott, thank you for joining me today. We're going to go on a break. Again, this is Scott Gedling. He is the candidate from the Department of Alabama for the National Junior Vice Commander-in-Chief for the VFW for 2026, right? 26, 27. So here we go. Grizz, take us to a break, please, sir. And we'll be back. You listen to Military Broadcast Radio on the Battle Rhythm Podcast on Roku TV and YouTube. So we'll be back.
Been home about 6 months now, and I still have my doubts. Well, I'm not sure how I got here or how I'm gonna get out. Well, my mama says I look the same as I did before I left, but if she could see inside of me, it would scare her to death. I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Last Saturday they honored us in a small parade downtown, and when they shot off those fireworks, I nearly hit the ground. And while they smiled and cheered for us, all I could do was stare. 'Cause part of me is here at home, but part of me's back there. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, run, soldier, run. And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it on. Yeah, there's no end in sight. 'Cause even though I'm home now, I'm still fighting for my life. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, run, soldier, run. And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it all. Well, the devil's won some battles, and he may win some more, but don't he know the American soldier will always win the war?
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Interview of the week sponsored by LTD Tactical.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. This season with the Battle Rhythm podcast. I am joined once again by an old friend of the show that I met at the Texas State Convention back in June, Mr. Bobby Laverne from the Department of Louisiana. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good, buddy.
Good to see you again. It's been a while. And first of all, before I start anything, this man is the past champion, national champion for the cornhole tournament that they had last year. Unfortunately, this year they came in third. So again, I think next year is going to be a comeback year, right?
Yep. I just got to thank Texas for that $1,200 I left Texas with.
Oh,
for winning second place in that tournament. Campaign.
He's throwing darts out here. It's like shots fired over here. Yeah, man, that's good. It's all in good fun. That's great. That's one of the things that we try to do. The fun things that we do, right? The cornhole tournaments. Actually, something I started 2 years ago in
This
Phoenix.
is the second year we started in Phoenix. It all came over discussion in St. Lucia between myself, Tim Borland, and Lynn Roth about bringing fun things to the VFW.
Right.
Besides just sitting in meetings all the time and getting families involved, because it's open to the auxiliary and VFW members. And last night, if you was over at the convention center, saw the amount of families that was over there watching everything that was going on. It was a great time. People were having fun, and that's what it's all about. We need to get having fun while doing the work of the VFW. It can't always be,
right.
Oh, I got to go do a buddy puppy drive. I got to do this. If you show you that you're having fun in your communities, membership will grow, and we got to take it, continue to grow the membership in the VFW.
So I know I asked you this last time I saw you. How long have you been a member of the VFW?
Since 1991.
Right after the Desert Storm.
Right after Desert Storm. When I got off the plane to Desert Storm, post 1736 out of Alexandria, handed us application. We filled out the application. We joined. Now, I wasn't a fully active member because right after we got back from Desert Storm, they shut down England Air Force Base, and I went over to Fort Walton Beach. Had 2 young kids, so took time with the family to make sure all that was right. And then when I got back to Louisiana as a recruiter, I got back involved with it.
Just so you guys know, I did not make my way down to the Louisiana hospitality room. I did, but I think they ran out of the jambalaya and the gumbo. So I think I only got like a couple of boudin balls. I think that they had. Yeah, like that. I was so mad because everybody was raving about jambalaya. I was like, oh man, like the next day we went to dinner to a Cajun place here called Lulu's in town in Louisville, and I had to have the jambalaya because I missed out on it. And I heard that you made it, right?
I cooked the jambalaya. You should have come down last night. We had some last night.
Man, I didn't run into you until like I think this morning, so that's why I didn't get invited. So, and I didn't think about it because it's so crazy. People don't understand just how many activities there are, between meetings and then between doing this and that, and then trying to talk to the family because my family's back in Texas, obviously, and I mean I had to call them and stuff. So by the time I call them, it's like, oh look, it's already 10 o'clock, or it's like 11 o'clock.
We were sitting there having supper and FaceTime my granddaughter. I hadn't talked to her since Thursday, so had to get that family time in.
That's one of the things that we talked about last time is that being on the road for so long is you miss out on certain things, right?
Exactly.
Does it still feel like if you were in the military and you missed that birthday?
Yep. I got an invitation for my youngest grandson breakfast with grandparents on September 6th. And my wife goes, you can be there. I was like, nope, I'll be on the way to Kansas City for the council meeting. So,
oh man,
you still got to adjust and make up things.
Right. So September 6th is my son's birthday. Right. He's going to be turning 18. So I was like, man, I can't even imagine,
you get
doing
a pay
that.
raise.
I do. As a matter of fact, I do. Yeah. But then I throw it right back because my daughter's going to a school now. So I have to, serve for that. So, but it's one of those things. But I want to ask you. The last time I talked to you, you had talked about that you had been on the campaign trail for a couple of years now, right?
Well, since last January.
So, and then since the last time we saw you a couple months ago, I think you only had a few more states to visit, right?
I was in Texas, then I went to Florida, then I was back West Virginia, and then Alexandria, and then going to Mississippi in a couple weeks. Then I have South Carolina to hit in Oklahoma. So last.
Have you established residency in all these states?
No, I wish I could.
Yeah, right. Property taxes will be lowered. No property taxes. So I asked Scott earlier, where do you see the VFW? See, if you do end up taking office, and it's a 3-year process, obviously. And where do you see the VFW if you do take office? Like, where do you want to take it to?
I want to take and make sure we still fight for veterans' rights. We got to take and get the veterans their benefits that they got coming from the VA. We got to get this Major Richard Store Act passed.
Do you want to elaborate on what this is? Because I know a lot of people actually don't really know.
The Major Richard Store Act is if you are medically discharged through the military, if you got 1 year, you got 20 years or 19, less than 20 years. If your VA disability is above what your retirement pay is, you lose your VA disability, you get that, but you don't get your retirement pay. The Richard Store Act would let you get concurrent pay to both of them. So, because it's two separate pods of money.
Right.
So you get your military retirement, plus you get your VA disability. And that can help a lot of veterans that are struggling to meet odds ends. But there's over 300 co-sponsors on this bill, but they won't bring it to the floor for a vote. And we have to continue to fight to get that damn bill to the floor.
So membership is important.
Right. But us as all four candidates that's left in this race, we're all fighting for the same thing.
Right.
We need to make sure that these congressmen, and if the people in Washington don't want to do it, let's start on the local level. Let's start on the state level and let them see that, hey, the states and everybody are taking action. We need to get behind and take action as well.
What is your driving force that made you want to run for the office?
When I was state commander, was doing the worst time that we had, right in the middle of the pandemic, 2020, 2021. We could have folded up and not done anything. But Hal Roach, who was the national commander at the time, says, hey, we got to keep fighting. We got to keep going. If anybody in Louisiana would have got COVID, it would have been me. But I didn't stop. I put 17,000 miles on my truck, doing a shutdown, visiting as many posts, as many districts, and everybody that I could. We had 3 hurricanes, floods, all during this time. And I stayed on the road and did everything I could. To see when you help a veteran, whether it's a problem with PTSD, a problem with the VA, and you see the results in things that can make their life better, that's what it's all about. You got to have it in your heart. You know, this job is a prestigious job. You're the face of the VFW. But if you're not doing it, it's in your heart to do it, then it's not the right thing.
That's so true because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, and people don't understand that this is such a commitment to do, right? Because I have a full-time job. Aside from me being, you know, this idiot that has a mic in front of him, I have a full-time job, and it's like I'm the post junior commander in my post, and I don't even know where I find the time. So for you doing it on a national level, I don't know where you find the time, to be honest with you.
The biggest thing, you got to have your family support. And before I made this decision to run for national commander, I sat down with my family, my wife, both of my kids, my son and my daughter, my son-in-law and my daughter-in-law, and said, explain to them what was about to happen if I did this. And they were all like, hey, this is something you love. It's in your heart. This is what you want to do. Go for it. We will be behind you 100%. And they have.
Right. What is the one legacy that you want to live? Excuse me, that you want to leave your kids, or even your posts, or even anybody else that's here? What is it that something you want people to learn, and a legacy that you want to have?
That I'll live to take and work for veterans, to fight for veterans, to do what we need to do to make things better and easier for veterans. To get family involved, you know, it all links around the same thing.
Right.
If you get things right for a veteran, it's going to make things right for their families. So instead of having domestic violence or anything like that, that can ease some of the stuff forward by helping a veteran out, to whether it's PTSD, financial issues, or anything like that, VA issues, mental health. You know, we take it and help them out. It'll make their family life a lot better.
That's so true, because a lot of the times that we as combat veterans, because a lot of us are combat veterans, right? PTSD is probably one of the things that we have an issue with, but also is the fact that sometimes the VA care as far as mental health, it's not that it's not there, but sometimes it's very slow to come. So, you know, by the time that they finally approve some things, it may be too late.
But the VA needs to look at a different way of treating PTSD. It's not about laying on a couch, talking to a psychiatrist. You know, people they deal with their pressures and their issues different ways. We have a company in Shreveport that one of our lieutenant colonels that retired from the Marine Corps started, where they do woodwork and metalwork. That gives those guys a release on what they need to do. We do a big thing down in South Louisiana, fishing with veterans. We bring them all down there. It gets them out on the water, gets them to clear their head. Pick these damn telephones up, even though we all do deal with them. Pick that up, get them away from there, and give them time just to relax, get away from the pressures of life, and enjoy themselves. And that's what, you know, I say we need to bring fun back to the VFW. That's one of the things that we need to do. We need to start having fun with, you know, doing things that, besides laying on the couch with the VA, talking to them. Get them involved in something they want to do. Cornhole, pickleball, it don't matter. Darts, axe throwing, you know, something that's a stress reliever that can help them relax and have a good time.
Right. So right now, the generation that's kind of taking over in the leadership roles are the Desert Storm veterans right now that are usually in those national leader roles, right? Right now, what is the one demographic that, as a VFW, which is the one demographic that we actually need to fill much more right now?
We need to get the global war on terrorism veterans more involved.
OEF and OIF, right?
Yep. We need to get those guys involved, guys and gals involved. We're not getting any younger.
Right.
Okay. We need to get it, just like with Vietnam, World War II, you know, it came down the line. There's a storm now. So we need to start bringing it around to Iraq War, OEF, OIF, you know, get all of that involved with it.
Right. And you hit it right on the head, that the fact that, you know, like my generation, I'm OEF, and it took me quite a while for me to actually even come to a decision like, you know what, maybe I should join the VFW. Like, what is it going to do? Like I said before, like, what am I going to do for it, right?
You got to get families involved. And if younger veterans with OEF, OIF, you do things that you post that families can get involved in, that's going to bring your membership. They're going to go back and talk to their friends. Hey, man, VFW is doing a lot of great things, in our area. Boom, you're going to get them signed up. But don't let them walk into your post and say, hey, glad to see you, a young veteran, sit in the corner and listen to what we do. Get them involved. Don't make them a commander, but get them involved in a program that you think fits them. Look, I got a young guy at an outpost. He came in, he was heavily involved in scouts. Guess what? He's the scout chairman. He volunteered to take it.
Yeah.
But because it's something that fit his bill.
Right.
So that you got to get them involved and give them something that they are interested in doing.
Involvement, that's the key to this to organization, right? Membership is what drives it, right?
Right.
And then usually you're basically just the conductor, and the membership is really the one that drives pretty much all the change, correct?
You work for the members. As a national commander, you work for the members. You are the face of the VFW, but you work for the members.
Are you as excited as I am? Because I see a lot of change coming in the next few years with the current leadership, and then those behind that are coming in, because everybody has a pretty good grasp on where they want to take this organization, right?
We need to keep moving forward. We can't go backwards.
That's one thing that we've always said. Like right now, kind of one of our mottos is like, don't look back at the things that we've done it, how we've done it before, right?
Look, my biggest thing when I was state commander, that's the way we used to do it, went out the window, because we had to start moving forward. You can't be stuck in a rut. You have to look at ways to move things better. And my motto is that you leave it better than what you found it for the next person.
I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Yep.
Because you're right. It's like we have to embrace what we have in front of us as far as like, just for example, technology. Technology is huge, right? I mean, AI is pretty much driving every demographic or everything that you do now. And, we don't take advantage of that to help us get those demographics and be able to build a better VFW for, for everybody behind us.
I mean, everywhere you go, I mean, we sitting on this podcast right now. This was not available 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We have to take advantage of the tools that's out there for us to use.
Yeah.
And the only way to do it is to keep moving forward.
We can't go back to using carbon copies.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know the last time I took and wrote a check.
Actually, earlier on today, I was outside in the balcony, and there was a big one of those freight boats,
right?
They were full of coal. I mean, it was like stack after stack of just coal. I was like, I guess they're gonna go make paper, carbon copies for us to actually use back in the VFW or the VA.
Right.
So I want to ask you a question. If and this is something that I've actually noticed within the VA, because I know many people don't know that the VFW is the one that actually started the VA, correct?
Exactly right.
So, and I ask you, if you do end up going there, and then just kind of, put in the back of your mind, is the one thing that really annoys every veteran that is involved with a VA or has to go to the VA because they have certain things, is the lack of response sometimes to the mental health, scene that we have, right? Because a lot of us don't have that time to not the time, but a lot of us don't have the right, I wouldn't say equipment, but the right things to know, like the knowledge to actually get there, right? Because they take forever, or they don't call you back. And then when they start diagnosing, you're like, it takes forever to get a referral. It should not take that long to do that. That's something that we need to really work on with the VA, because I'm pretty sure everybody is pretty annoyed at the fact that it's like, oh, well, and I'll use myself as an example, is that I've had some issue with my stomach. They found a mass, and it's dating back 3 years now that they found the mass. I went back twice to get an MRI, another CT scan, and right now they said, you have to get an additional request or authorization number. I was like, why do I need to get another authorization number? They already did it. It's community care. They should be able to use that same authorization number. And there's a lot of miscommunication when it comes down from the VA to the community care program, and they're not using the correct codes. And then I'm getting a bill for $1,500 because they're not using that.
And that's where linking the two systems, that VA is in the process of doing is supposed to help cut that out. I've had this discussion with Fernando Rivera, who runs the New Orleans VA system, Mark Bologna, who is patient advocate for it. And if we got a problem trying to get appointments for our veterans over there, you call Mark Bologna, and within 3 days, he's going to make it happen.
Okay. So now I have a name in a person. I got it. I can get contact now.
You just have to take and you got to press the right buttons and contact the right people to get it done.
Right.
And the only way you're going to do that is to get involved with it.
So what is one thing that you want to leave us with to keep in mind about, your whole campaign and why you feel that you're going to be the most eligible for this job?
Heart.
Okay.
Love for veterans, making things happen, not sitting back and letting it just revolve around you. You've got to take and go out there and make things happen. You can't sit back and wait for somebody else to do it. And one big thing that you got to do is surround yourself with the right people and put them in the right position, because a leader is only as good as a person that's his people around him. And that's one big thing that I'm gonna make sure that when I become junior vice commander chief, start working on building my team at that time.
Right.
And I'm not gonna wait till I'm junior vice. I'm gonna wait when I'm a designee after next year and start working and put the people in that I think that I want to work with.
Right. Well, we're here to help in any way we can. You're a friend of the podcast. Anytime you want to come back, just like Scott as well. Scott, you're a friend of the podcast. You can come anytime you want. He's over there drinking a beer, so he's not even paying attention. So, Bobby, thank you so much for coming in one more time. I wish you the best. I hope that everything that from now on and next year, maybe I'll be saying congratulations on being a designee.
Appreciate it.
And it'll be good. So we're gonna go into a break. We're gonna come back with a candidate from Florida. Again, you listen to the Battle Rhythm podcast on Military Broadcast Radio, Patriot Radio, Roku TV, and YouTube and Facebook. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Get ready for an epic collaboration as MB Radio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch veteran-run podcasts along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MB Radio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world.
I will go down with this ship, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door, 'cause I'm in war. Always will be. I'm gonna work harder. I will go down with this ship.
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast. My name's Caesar. I am here with an old friend of the show, Mr. Lynn Toomer. He is the Department of Texas candidate for the Junior Vice Commander-in-Chief for 2026-2027. How are you doing, sir?
Outstanding. How you doing?
Hey, can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
There we go. That is the one thing that I can always ask a Marine to do something like that, right? I mean, that's the one thing they always do.
Absolutely.
That's your signature. I mean, the current commander-in-chief, his is the whole Ric Flair thing.
Oh, yeah. Dwayne Sarmiento's crazy with that stuff.
He lost his voice all of a sudden, like this whole week. Like, as soon as he's done, he's pretty much done. He doesn't have a voice anymore. So, but welcome back to the show, man. How have you been?
Oh, outstanding. Just traveling the country.
I've seen some of your pictures. You've been in where did you go? Indiana, Kentucky? I was wearing Kentucky, but like you came to the trail. You've been everywhere, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That
when you run for National Junior Vice Commander-in-Chief, you got to hit the road.
That truck, man, that truck's got to be like almost dead, if not. Like how many sets of tires have we bought already?
2 sets.
2 sets of tires. There you go. See, man, it's crazy.
Hey, 120,000 miles 1 year.
So what I've been asking every candidate so far that we've had, what is the one thing that you want to leave as a legacy?
The one thing I want to leave as a legacy is new programs that move this organization into the future.
And with that said, do you have a program in mind, something that is driving you to say this is probably one thing that I think should work or will work in particular, like something that you have in mind already?
Absolutely. As far as recruiting goes,
I
think we've got to think outside the box to get our new members in. We're talking about a younger generation that's still raising families, still raising kids. So we've got to reach out to them and get them back involved with us, bring them into the organization. And one of the ways I think we do that, just for an example, one of the programs we're working on now is the Veterans Comedy Tour across the nation.
Right.
I think that would bring more. We did it in Fort Worth for a trial. And we got 10 new recruits that night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was incredible. And they did a comedy tour. They did a comedy show tonight at the patriotic rally that we had here at the National Convention.
All those comedians were all vets, right?
All the comedians are all veterans.
That's the one thing that drove it. Like pretty much all of them were all vets, and they were, they were throwing pretty much like shots fired at one another because like, the Army did this, the Marines did that, right?
You know how it is. We can mess with each other, but you can't mess with us.
Right. I mean, I'm still waiting for Alabama to come up with their crayon jokes. I don't know. You guys bought any crayons or snacks or what? I mean, you guys are killing me over here. I don't understand. Because everybody says that Marines are always eating crayons or MREs and things like that. So some people say that. I have a buddy of mine. He was from Desert Storm. He's like, I had never heard that, and that's got to be a newer thing that they've never heard it.
I was in the Marine Corps in 1993, and I knew about it then in boot camp.
So he was under a rock then, because he was under a rock. So anyway, see that's what happens to you, Steve Aldridge. You don't know what you're talking about because everybody's been heard about it. So yeah, but it's one of those things. All right, let's get back to the point here. I asked Bobby Laverne earlier about the VA, right? And I had you on the show before, and you shared with us that you've had some medical issues that date back to when you were in the service. And the person I had back then, it was Dee Dee Ashmore. Dr. Dee Ashmore, that actually helped you with a procedure, right? With some of the things they use a machine that helps you with your condition, correct?
Correct. It's called the vector machine.
Right. And with that, the VA, do you think? I mean, it's I believe it's already authorized with the VA. Is that what's going on with that?
It is authorized for pain management.
Okay.
That's what it was authorized for. And one of my friends that I do another radio show with, he has cancer. He had 7 spots on his lungs. Well, he heard about this treatment and he went in, and now he's only got 2 spots left on his lungs. So he said, "Hey, Lynn, you need to come meet Dee Dee." So I went over, met her, did the treatment with her. And after I hadn't been able to sign my name, I was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's 3 years ago. And I haven't been able to sign my name in 3 years.
Right.
So I went over, did a treatment. And after the first treatment, I come in the next morning. The first day I went, they asked me to fill out the paperwork, and I just laughed at them. I said, "You're not going to be able to read this." So they said, "Well, fill it out anyway." So I filled it out, and I do the treatment, and I come in the next morning, and they said, "Well, fill it out again." I said, "Well, I'm not going to be able to fill it out." Well, I could get the pen and son of a gun if I couldn't sign my name.
And you said it was the first time in 3 years that you were able to sign
First time in
it.
3 years I was able to sign my name.
That's incredible.
Craziest thing, and the equipment is not made for treating Parkinson's, but it worked on me.
Right.
And Dee Dee told me that when I showed up. She's very honest. She's a Marine Corps. So she's very honest with you. She tells you right up front, "Hey, it may work, it may not for you. It's not designed for this, but let's try it."
Right.
So we tried it, and it worked like a charm.
So how much trouble did you have to get it approved by the VA in order for you to even get this type of treatment? Because again, it had to go through community care, right?
No. It's not approved by the VA for Parkinson's.
No. I mean, for pain management.
For pain management,
Right.
yes. But right after I started the treatment, at the first week, the VA in Dallas pulled all of her veteran clients.
Right.
Turns out they were having funding problems, so they pulled all of her clients and came up with some BS about her being under investigation through, what was the company you said?
Which one? I'm
For
sorry.
the insurance.
Oh, like Humana, not a Humana, but
TriWest.
TriWest, yeah.
Yeah. So they said she was under investigation through TriWest. Well, I'm like, well, hell, I need to check on this. So I called TriWest and said, "Hey, is this doctor under investigation for anything?" And they said, "Nope, not anything on our record books." And I'm like, well, that's an issue, because this lady's helping lots of veterans. She has doctors in the office that take care of everything.
Right.
I mean, PTS, she was treating PTS, treating pain management, and then she's helping out all of us other vets that haven't been authorized through the VA yet, but she just gave us this. I mean, she did the treatment for free for me.
Right.
Just so I could see if it would work or not. So she's a great lady, and they damn near shut her business down. We had to go out and get outside funding to keep her open until she could get this work through. We had General Williams come in. They had an FBI investigation going on, all at the Dallas VA.
Wow. And that's so unfortunate, the fact that, again, the VA, even though we started it and, we were supposed to work in conjunction with them because, we're their main bread and butter, right? The veterans are the ones that actually are keeping that, they need us for them to be in business. Now, like I shared with Bobby, like one of the biggest gripes I get that every veteran has is the wait times and how long it takes for you to get an authorization, and you need an authorization for this and that, and it's so convoluted and it's so red tape that it makes every veteran hate the VA even more than they already did.
Yeah, and it really sucks because there's some great people that work at the VA and they want to help you, but you got to go through all this red tape. I mean, they called me up. I was supposed to go for a neurological appointment. They called me up and say, "Hey, we can't see you till January of 2025. This was 2 months ago. I just laughed at them and said, "BS. I said, y'all going to outsource me right now.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, we'll put you down for outsource. Well, they called me back a week later and said, well, we had an opening come up and we can see you September 1st.
How about that?
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah. The one thing you can do as veterans is not let them tell you what to do. If you just tell the VA, okay, they're just going to keep pushing you off. You've got to put your foot down, and they have to see you within 60 days. If they can't see you within 60 days, they have to outsource you.
That's something that, a lot of us don't know or just completely forget because we get so frustrated with the process that we don't even want to deal with it sometimes. We're like,
Right.
you know what? Forget it. I'll just deal with it.
And as long as you let them push you off, they're going to keep doing that.
Right.
But if you put your foot down and say, hey, outsource me.
So is that something that your campaign is on, that you're going to try to work with the VA in regards to, making those efforts less red tape, I guess?
The VF, not less rest. I don't know that you can get rid of the less red tape.
Right.
Besides being outsourced. I think the outsourcing is one of the best things that has happened to the VA because it gets our veterans treatment when they need it twice as quick and gets that outside source going.
Right.
But we have to stay on the VA. The VFW has been fighting for the veterans in the VA system. We started the VA system. We've got to keep doing that, and we're doing a great job. But you get some of these civilians in there, and they get to where you can't get rid of them.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a big mistake.
Because a lot of them just, I'm not trying to say anything bad or anything like that, but some of them are like contractors that they're just there to collect a paycheck.
Oh, exactly.
And they just go in there and, they're like, hey, you know what? I have a federal job. I don't have to do anything else.
Right. And it's, like I said, it sucks because you got some really good doctors there. You got some really good help there. But then you got the ones that just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
They're just there to get a paycheck and go home.
It sucks the fact that, we have to deal with this, and we deal with this the entire time. And as veterans, we deal with it, and we're just like, you know what, drive on. I mean, that's what we do, right? So
they lit a fire under us messing with Dee Dee and trying to shut her business down like they did.
Yeah.
Because this went all the way to Capitol Hill. We've got senators on it. So there's going to be a ruling coming down quick and get it taken care of.
That's good.
We're supposed to have her back up and running by the end of the month.
Oh, that's great. So I actually did have treatment from Vector, the Vector treatment with her facility. Then like you said, they had to shut it down. She had, I think, 3 offices, and one of the Sherman office where I live ended up shutting down, or actually closing down to a specific date, like 1 day a week, because they had no funding. And so it dealt into all these other things. And the people that I know, when I went in for the 10 days and whatnot, the people were there, and they were, consistently coming in and out, and people were getting treatment and we were feeling good about it. And next thing you know, it's like, oh no, we're only here for 1 day a week for 3 hours. Yep. And that was bad. I mean, bad business if you think about it, because they're taking away from the veteran that really needs that treatment.
Yeah, and they did the same thing to our office in Arlington.
Oh,
they had to shut it down to 1 day a week.
That's that's not even right. You know what I mean? Yep. And hopefully as an organization, we can definitely help change that. But membership is what drives that. Because if we don't have the members, we don't have a voice in Congress, right?
Correct. Without our members, without our auxiliary, without our VFW members, we don't have a voice in Congress.
Yeah.
If you don't have the voice, if you don't have the membership, they don't listen.
Right.
But you can walk in there, come March, we'll all be hitting Capitol Hill again.
Yeah.
In Washington, D.C.
But we're definitely gonna do that.
Best week we have all year long in Washington, D.C. You have 600 or more veterans with their caps on, walking the halls of Congress, knocking on doors.
Oh, you went right back to that, grunt style, right?
Oh,
Boom,
yeah.
knocking on doors.
Knocking on doors. And we heard the Medal of Honor winner today.
Yeah.
He said the same thing. He said, us younger vets, we don't mind kicking in doors.
No, we don't.
He was right on the money.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to do.
So what is one thing that you want to leave us with that you want people to know about you and what you're going to do with the VFW takeover? Because, like I said, those 3 years that you be to the build up to where you're gonna, if you do get elected, where do you see the VFW in 3, 5, 20 years?
I see us moving forward. We're going to grow this organization. I mean, there's no way around it. But one thing, I don't run this organization. When I become national commander in chief, it's still not me running the organization. That's the great thing about this organization. The membership runs this organization from the post level, district level, state level, and national. The membership runs this organization. And that's one thing we've got to reinvigorate our members so that they know that they run this organization. They understand they run this organization, and they have the voice and the power to make things happen.
Right now, you're losing your voice, so you're kind of losing. You're losing that battle right now.
It's been a long week.
Too many woos and too many other things in between. But
oh yeah,
so I just want to leave with this. So I told you you're a friend of the shows. You can come anytime you want, like everybody else that's here. But I want to say this: we need to thank, because you and I are from the Department of Texas, but we need to thank the Department of Alabama for allowing us to actually be here and run this from their hospitality room. So, Alabama, thank you so much.
Go Cowboys! How about them Cowboys?
Their games are not going to be televised on the History Channel because they've been done for a long time.
That's a great thing about this organization. There were 6 of us running. 2 of the guys had to drop out for different reasons.
Right.
We're all running for a position. We're not running against each other.
Correct. Right.
That's the one cool thing. Scott can come to Texas. They can come anytime they want to. I can go into Alabama. We all go to each other's states.
Yeah.
Because they have to see us.
Right.
Otherwise, they can't vote for us.
Well, I have a leg up on you in Alabama. You know this, right?
You've got a leg up on me in Alabama?
Yeah, because I didn't tell you the story.
No.
Oh, dang. Damn, I'm sorry. All right, so I'll tell you the story.
I remember who you're talking to.
I know
where your post is.
Commander, let me say this. Okay, so when I first met Scott, I chit chat here and there. I was like, oh, so you were in the National Guard? He's like, oh yeah, I ran this. I was like, I was deployed in Syria in 2022, and I was with a Alabama unit, the first of the 173rd, the Warlock. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I knew who ran it. I was like, yeah, Commander. I can remember his name. It was Commander Locke. I didn't remember the name. It was Commander Locke, and I was like, yeah. And his XO was William Hurd, Major Hurd at that point. He's a colonel now, and he's like, yeah, he was a lieutenant when I was here. I was like, are you kidding me right now? So I took a selfie with him, sent it to Major Hurd. I was like, do you know this guy? He's like, you can't get away from Alabama people. I was like, nope.
Hey.
And here I am in Alabama hospitality room. I can't get away from them.
The veteran community is very small.
Correct.
And it gets smaller all the time. So you're going to meet all the guys you served with in different states and it's just incredible meeting all the veterans around this country.
And again, Alabama, thank you so much for hosting us. And you guys have a big piece of my heart to do that because you guys are awesome. So I just want to thank you guys for that. And just
don't forget about Florida now.
Florida's coming up.
All right.
We
got to get King Core in here too.
I am going to give some love to Florida because I actually spent a lot of time in Florida, and the fact that I hated the humidity, I have a much more appreciation for like the Texas heat.
It's a dry heat.
It's a drier heat. Because oh my gosh, I got stories. When Ken comes in, I'll tell the stories. But Commander, I really want to thank you for again being part of the show. And like I said before, you are a friend of the show. And anytime you want to come in, like everybody else, like all the other candidates, they're more than welcome to come in, share some time with me, and we'll put your face on the website and everything. So yeah, there is like,
whoa,
there you go.
I'm going to keep leaning over.
Yeah, is that what it was? I was thinking, why is he like going back? Like my breath smells or something? I don't know.
Oh, but hey, we appreciate what you do, And this is exactly what the VFW needs to be doing, is programs like this, letting all the young veterans out there that aren't part of the organization yet know we're here, know we're here for them, going to help them come into the organization. It makes a huge difference.
I appreciate it. Commander, always a pleasure talking to you.
Enjoyed it, sir.
I know you. I enjoy doing it with you because, you know, this guy, like, as much as he loses his voice, I don't even have anything else to say because, I mean, we get less, you know what I mean? So, anyway, but this is Season with the Battle Rhythm Podcast. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break. And you're listening to the Battle Rhythm Podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and also on Patriot TV, Roku TV, and also on, I think, Amazon Fire Stick now, too. So, there we go. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Hey,
Hey, it's Shannon. Hey, what's up? We're on our way to a gig.
Rick's up here with another woman.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm turning around. Guys, we gotta turn around. I'm sorry. Rick's at the bar with another woman. I'm so sick of this crap.
You serious?
I'm freaking serious. We're gonna catch him this time.
I've been run down, I've been lied to. I don't know why I let that mean man be me a fool. He took all my money, he wrecked my new car. Now he's with one of my good time buddies, drinking at some crosstown bar. Sometimes I feel like I've been tied to the whipping post, tied to the whipping post, tied to the whipping post. Good Lord, I feel like I'm dying. Such a fool. I have to stand by and take it, baby. Oh, for loving you, I drown myself in sorrow as I look at what you've done. Nothing seems to change, bad times ain't the same, and I can't run. Sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel like I've been tied to the whipping post, tied to the whipping post, tied to the whipping post. Good Lord, I feel like I'm dying.
I just want to see it for myself.
Sometimes I feel like I've been tied to the whipping post, tied to the whipping post, tied to the whipping post. Good Lord, I feel like I'm dying.
opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast once again on Military Broadcast Radio, Patriot Radio, Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick. Man, I am so pumped right now. I have yet another candidate, the last but not least, the candidate from Florida, Mr. Ken Core.
Yes, that's me.
That is you. Okay.
That's me, man.
How you doing, sir? Thank you for coming. First of all, this is the first time I've ever met you. I've had the pleasure of actually meeting everybody else, but I think you weren't able to come to our state convention in Texas, and so
not this time.
Right, not this time. Well, you will next time, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And you're going to be on our midwinter too?
I don't know if I'll be at your midwinter, but I will definitely be down there for one of your conferences.
There you go. See, I will be there for sure. That's going to be one thing. So, I want to get to first of all. I want to get to this. Since this is our first time on your show, I want to extend an invitation that you're a friend of the shows. You can come anytime you want. That you want to say, Caesar, I have something to say. And I'll be like, tough. I'm not going to get you on, but just kidding. But you can come on. Let us know what you need, because I think it's important for everyone to know. Especially, I have a lot of viewers that are military members and also VFW members that may not understand some of the inner workings of how the VFW works. Right. So first of all, how long have you been a part of this organization?
Well, I did two things. I served in Iraq and I got home in 2004. And I did two things when I got home from Iraq. I enrolled in VA and I joined the VFW. So I've been in the VFW for 20 years now.
20 years.
20 years. That's right. And the VFW is my heart and soul. The VFW, when I joined it, people think it's just a bar. It's just where everybody gets together and talks about their war experiences, and that's not it. When I joined the VFW in 2004, I was lost.
Mm-hmm.
I was lost. I was absolutely lost. And when I joined the VFW, I found a family. I found an extended family, and the VFW has saved my life on more than one occasion.
That's awesome.
The members in the VFW are second to none. We have combat veterans who have seen more things than I have seen, and I can go to a post and sit down and be alone.
Right. Are you Army?
Yes, I was Army. I was a combat medic in Iraq. I spent a year there. I ran a battalion aid station.
Okay.
In Baghdad before the green zone opened. We were the only game in town. Now, if you've ever seen the show MASH, the 407, right? The 4077, that's where they all had the parties and stuff like that. But the 8063rd, that was the battalion aid station.
Oh, okay.
And those are the ones who were taking the severely wounded.
Okay, gotcha.
We were the only game in town in Baghdad for about 6 months before they opened up the green zone.
Uh-huh.
I ran the battalion aid station. I was a non-commissioned officer, NCOIC,
right,
of the ambulance operations in Baghdad. So we saw wounded from every part of the theater, and we evacuated them to hire.
Okay. What is one thing that you cherish the most from your military career?
The camaraderie.
Is it something you found in the VFW again?
In the military, there's always that camaraderie when you go to war.
Right.
When we go to war, friendship bonds are made.
Right.
And you're no longer friends, you're brothers. And when I got out of the Army, out of Iraq, and I joined the VFW, it was no different. Absolutely no different. But the thing was, when I was talking to my buddies that we deployed with in Iraq, I get back to the VFW and I have friends from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam,
right,
and Desert Storm, and we're all comrades. We've all chewed the same dirt.
Yeah.
And this is a family. This is a family that you can't find anyplace else.
So, talk about family. Is that one thing that you really want to push with the, going forward with the VFW, the smaller like family units, as far as like, getting younger veterans that have families? We want to be not just a drinking post, right? We want to be a family post, right? Is that where you see our organization going?
You're right. We do have the drinking members, and we call them DMOs, drinking members only. The guys who show up at the bar and they just don't get involved. But if you look back at the VFW, this is the 125th year that we've been in we've been working. Now, in 125 years, we've done so many things. We've got the GI Bill. We started VA. There's so many things that we've done for veterans, and what we've done to take care of veterans and their families and the Gold Star families. We can't just look at what we've done. We have to keep moving forward. We have to look at the next obstacle. We're all warriors here in the VFW.
Right.
What we've done before, we've had a past battle. We have to look forward to the next battle. Our next battle, look at the PACT Act that was passed. We took care of the veterans who waited 50 years to get their benefits. And the PACT Act ensures that veterans today will not have to wait 50 years to get their benefits. Those benefits are there today when they walk off the battlefield.
That was huge, right?
It was tremendous. It was tremendous. We've done so many things in the last 125 years, but what's in front of us? We've got to look at what's in front of us and what's going to come up down the road. When I was 17 years old, I was learning how to drive, and it was in the 70s. So the car had that big emblem on the front of it. Right? It had the Chrysler emblem or the Ford emblem. And my father said to me, don't drive the car by just looking at that. Look down the road and see what's coming. And that's what we have to do in the VFW. We have to be proactive and look down the road and see what's coming and strike at it and fix it before it becomes a problem, so nobody has to wait another 50 years to get their benefits.
So what are some of the things that you see that we need to fix so far, like in the future?
In the future, what do we have to fix? We have to look at what's coming up. We have we've got two fronts right now. We've got Israel and we have Ukraine.
Okay.
We've got veterans that are over there, and they're the Eastern Bloc, and they're going to have to come back, and they're going to have to get benefits.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to take care of them. We've got to take care of everybody who's deployed.
What that means is that right now, because it's not the war has not been declared on those things, right? So they will not have a combat
an expeditionary medal,
right,
or something like that. But we do have a talking point, if you will,
right,
about those who are on the eastern side of NATO, and allowing them to have an expeditionary medal.
Right. Because I know Kosovo back in '94, that one was recognized, right? And that's where the eligibility came from the VA.
Yes, Kosovo in '94 was a big thing. It was a big discussion, and those members are now here in our ranks.
Right. Because they are seeing some type of combat and everything there, so they should be definitely included. But that's something that that's something down the road, about 10-15 years, down the road for anything or any of those veterans to actually be able to see, even the VFW, to be able to even start talking about being recognized, or even actually has to be recognized by the DoD first of all, right, before actually be recognized by the the VFW.
Right, and that's why my motto is keep moving forward. We can't drive the car by the emblem. We have to look down the road.
Right.
We need to know what's in front of us and how to respond.
Right.
The challenges will never end. There will always be challenges for membership in the VFW. There will always be challenges facing us with veterans who are putting themselves in danger.
Right. So I want to kind of get off that topic, and I want to ask you a personal question. Off the air, you were telling me that your dad was the photographer for the Heisman Trophy winners.
Yes. When I was growing up, my father was the photographer. He worked for the Downtown Athletic Club, which is where the Heisman Trophy was awarded.
In New York.
In New York, yes.
I don't know if you guys saw it or heard this, but he's got a big, thick accent from New York, right? Like Brooklyn.
Yeah, you think that? Yeah, I'm out of Florida, but I'm from New York.
Yeah.
I was a New York City cop as well.
Who was the favorite person that your dad took a picture of?
Oh my gosh. Jim Plunkett.
Did you talk to him?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Did he pull you aside and said, "Don't give up, kid," or something like that?
No, I met him, and it was at a point in my life where I was so young, I didn't know who I was talking to. But going through that whole Heisman Trophy sports photography thing with my father, I met so many great people.
Right.
So many wonderful people, and veterans as well. Roger Staubach. All right, Air Force, where are you? He was in the Air Force, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Only a few people know. Only a few people know that.
Only a few people know, but at that time I was a kid, and at that point I really didn't understand what I was standing
Right.
next to my father doing. But as I started getting older and realizing, it was like, holy S, this is, holy cow, these guys are freaking awesome. And then when I became a New York City police officer, I started doing security at the Downtown Athletic Club, and I met them all as adults.
Oh wow!
And they're all fabulous people, wonderful people. They're ball players.
Yeah.
They're honorable ball players. So I think we should get back to the VFW.
Nah, we're good. I mean, I think, look, the reason why is because this is the first time I've met you, and I want people to know you as a person, and I see the passion you have for the VFW.
Oh my God, my
So
passion
and
for
it
the VFW,
and I see that, but it also I have to let other viewers and other people know. A lot of people, because you're in Florida, I'm in Texas. I'd never heard of you. I'll be honest with you, I had never heard of you. I was like, oh, there's another guy from Florida already, guys. Okay, oh, that's fine. But I want to know you in a personal level, not because I don't want to talk to you about the VFW. I mean, the VFW is always going to be here. But as a person, like me getting to know you, as far as like saying that your dad was a photographer for the Heisman, that to me that's super cool. That's something that not a lot of people know. Maybe you didn't want to share that, but
well, he was
bad.
Not just a photographer for the Heisman Trophy. He was a lieutenant in the fire department in New York.
Oh, there you go.
And he was in charge of the photo unit, which is turned over to the forensic unit. And funny story, I applied for the police department and for the fire department, and his office was 2 doors down from the commissioner's office. And I wrote a 90 on the written test, and I did 100 on the physical. And I walked into my father's office and I said, "Hey, man, I got a 90 and 100. Can you help me out?" He says, "Nope." It had to be on my own merit, and I loved him for that. And my military service was the same way.
Right.
He said, "Nope, I'm not gonna give you any any advice. This is your career. And my dad was he was a submariner.
Okay.
In the Navy. He was on the old diesel boats. He was on Sea Lion 315.
Oh, that's cool.
An old diesel boat. And that's where I got my passion for veterans and my drive for taking care of people.
So, last question. What is it that you want to live or leave as a legacy for the VFW, or the people you want people to know that this is something that you want to?
Oh, my legacy. I want my children and my grandchildren to understand the service and sacrifice that I did.
Right.
That we did and around the VFW. I want them to understand the service and sacrifice that veterans have undertaken over the years to make sure that they have the freedom that they can do whatever they want.
Right. So
we fought and bled for their freedom.
Right.
And this organization is my lifeblood.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing that with me. Ken, I'm going to extend an invitation to you to come back to the show, and we'll get to the nitty-gritty of it. Because like I said, this is the first time meeting you. I wanted to get to know you more as a person before. We still have 12 months, and I want to do this with you in the next within the next month, and we'll get into a little bit more detailed in regards to the VFW.
I'm open to that.
Good.
I would love to have that opportunity to speak with
please.
you and give you my whole bio. And
there we go.
And let you know who I am, not just as a veteran, but as a person.
Sir, you're a friend of the show. Thank you so much, Ken.
Thanks,
I
man.
really appreciate you taking the time to coming down here and talking to me.
Thank
and like I said, you're a friend of the shows. You're going to come back in I would say 2-3 weeks, and we'll get to the nitty gritty of it with you. But right now, we're going to take a quick break.
It sounds good, but just give me a second
Yeah,
of
please.
personal privilege, if you will. We are the VFW, and in the VFW, every day is Veterans Day.
Yeah.
And we live by that credo, and we take care of each other.
Correct.
Thanks for having me.
You're proud of you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break. You listen to the Battle Rhythm podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and also on Patriot Radio. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you the special report.
Somewhere little children cry as their parents say goodbye, bound for a land far away. When they'll return they just can't say, to this place where wise men walk, in a world where men won't talk. Can't help but see the irony, making war to keep the peace. Oh God, I hate this swirling dust. Don't wanna be here, but I must. Lord, I do not want to die, and that's the reason why I'm trusting in the sentry in the sky. Events have gone awry. Can't change the world, but I've gotta try. Under eastern stars I pray, keeping low and hoping for a better day. Oh God, I hate this swirling dust. To you, my love, I miss you much. Wipe a tear from your eye. I'll see you by and by, 'cause I'm trusting and the sentry in the sky. I'm trusting in the sentry in the sky. I'm trusting in the sentry. I'm trusting in the sentry in the sky.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, welcome back to the Battle Rhythm podcast. I am Caesar. I'm joined here by, I know you as Bear. I know your first name, but I've always called you Bear because Bear is a part of the Department of Texas Motor Group. Which motor group are you?
VFW MGTX. I'm Unit 14 out of Belton, Texas.
Texas.
I was the state chairman for from 2018 to 2000. Well, I just resigned 24, and put the guy behind me in charge because you know what, he's done his time and he deserves it. He's
You're like, I've had
guy.
enough. That's had enough. But the reason why I wanted to bring you in is because, first of all, before I start, I was corrected off the air because I actually gave some incorrect information regarding Kosovo. So Kosovo happened in 1999, correct? And then the other one in 1994 was Bosnia, correct? All right, there we go. So I apologize for the misinformation I gave, but I want to make sure that we're historic correct in regards to honoring those veterans that are actually from those wars. So again, Kosovo was in 1999, and then Bosnia was in 1994. So there you go. That's the plug that I had to do. So I apologize for that. So thank you for correcting me. So thank you. But let's get back to Bear here. His real name is Thomas.
Yes.
And everybody calls you Bear, as it is, right?
I've been a bear all my life.
And you were a Navy veteran, correct?
I was Navy veteran, yes, sir.
What was your rate?
I was an MM. I was a MMFN. I was on the USS Abraham Lincoln.
Were you a nuclear?
No, I was a conventional MM in a nuclear field. I worked with all of the nukes down in the bottom of the boat. So basically, I was the throw against. Everybody wanted to do something. Oh, let's have Tommy do it. Have Anderson do it. Let's get this guy doing it. So all of the climbing underneath the deck and everything else in the water.
The low bottom.
I was the bottom. I was the bottom, but that's all right. They put me in charge of a lot of groups with guys that were above me to make sure that the shaft alleys were cleaned and things like that. I had duties that caused that, and you know, it was when we got over to the Gulf. Part of this is where we're going is that there was a lot of suicide letters written.
Right.
We actually had at one successful suicide. He hung himself with an extension cord just below our berthing in one of our closets, and you know, all of these people using it or not using it as a serious event. You know, when we were in the service, it was like, oh, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real, and that was the hard part about this. Is that now I see the reality of where we're at and what the things, the distance from home, the separation from family, and all of the things that we look at and where that comes from. So.
Right. So I'm looking at your foundation here. It's the Operation Daily Battle.
Operation Daily Battle. Yes,
so tell me a little bit about it. When did it start?
Well, in 2021, to be honest, I was I was on a safari, in Johnson, I think it's Johnsonville, Texas. There's a safari down there, and I took my granddaughter out, and the motorcycle chairman from Louisiana called me and said, "Hey, I'm in Texarkana at a bar, and we should do something up here. You know, hang out, do a poker run, something like that up here." And I said, "I'm with my granddaughter. I'll call you back when I get out of here." So we called him back, Michelle and I, my wife. And Michelle and I called him back and talked to him. And I said, "That's great. That sounds great. Well, we'd love to do something like that, but I don't do anything without a purpose. And I've been looking for a purpose for this suicide prevention program." And he said, "Hey, I'm all about it. Let's invite Arkansas in." And I said, "Well, if we're going to do Arkansas, we might as well do Oklahoma, because then we'd be the four corners, you know, kind of round out everything and have it all in that central location." So I called Zach Schwank up at National, and I got the information for all of the different states and the chairman from each of those states, and we got connected with Billy Stone out of Oklahoma and Greg Bernstein out of Arkansas, and then Ed Horton was the president, chairman over in Louisiana. So he is actually our president in our organization. I'm just the treasurer.
Okay.
So, but it's all a program that we do together. The 4 states, we work very hard. It started out small. I say small. We had 63 bikes show up at our first one in Texarkana, which was where we started it. All of the funds and everything came out of my pocket to start. We ran everything through my bank account, which was difficult, but it all came out, and we made a profit on that situation that we can use for. We gave half of that money to the unmet needs program at National, and the other half we kept in the Operation Daily Battle Fund to get started. Well, I talked to National and said, hey, what do we do for veterans to help them with suicide prevention? And he said, we give them money. And I said, that's great, but what do we do to get them from crisis to clinic? And he said, well, we send them to the VA. And I said, but who gets them from crisis to clinic? How do we know how to deal with a suicidal person? And how do we fix that here? And he said, well, we really don't have anything nationally to do that. And I said, okay, there's our focus. And that's what we've done, is we've created this program, and this is going to be the 4th year, coming up in September, and we do it the second weekend of September. September is Suicide Prevention Month, for those that didn't know. So that's where our focus is, in September. September, the first one we did in Texarkana, the next one we did in Bossier City, Louisiana. The third one we did in Tyler, Texas. Between those 3, we raised over $60,000
in 3 years.
In 3 years for this program. We're coming up to our 4th year. I'm thinking we're gonna blow it out of the water.
Where's this one gonna be at?
It's gonna be in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Erica Traxler out of Oklahoma. She was the state
commander. Past state commander.
Past state commander. She's the current motorcycle president there. So she is going to be hosting the program there this next September. So, like I said, the program is set up that we at our events we do training. We do suicide prevention training. We used Al. Here's Al Liphart's program. One Tribe. It used to be 122 Kill. They came over and they did our first training and our second training. The third training was in Tyler, and I did that. And we used a program called Talk Saves Lives from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And that went over well. Trained a lot of people there. We did 2 sessions. It was about 115 people got trained there. In the other 2 sessions before, we were roughly, COVID kicked our butts in 2002. So we were smaller, but we were about 65 people. In the first year, we were about 109. So it's steadily getting bigger. The next program we did, I went out and took a program called QPR.
Yeah.
And so I'll be teaching the Gatekeeper program at this one, and they limit us to 35 people per class.
Yeah.
I'll be doing 3 classes at this time. There may be another one extended into there, just depending on signups.
Right.
To make sure that they get the product from me, which is question, persuade, refer. That's what the QPR stands for. So you ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask that question. The stigma out there is if you put it in their heads that they're going to commit suicide, then they're going to kill themselves.
Right.
And that's not a stigma that's true. All right. If that person is suicidal, they're looking for somebody to talk to them. They're looking for somebody to reach out. If they're not, they have no problem saying no. I'm good. But feel better that you ask that question if it's something that you feel in your heart. If something's changed in their lives. They're spending money like they shouldn't. They're giving things away. Their depression, hopelessness is the #1 cause of suicide prevention right now. And everybody talks about the 22, the 34, the 18. Here's how I look at it. All right. We as veterans are 3% of the United States. We're 18.7% of the deaths by suicide. 18.7. Whether you think 22 or you think more or less, the population is what it is. And the more it grows, that 18.7 stays.
Right.
All right. So however you work it out in your head, 18.7 is how I work it out. So I am 18.7 of 3%. 3% of the United States and 18.7 are more likely to commit suicide.
So, Mayor, I know we're running out of time, unfortunately, for tonight, but I do want to invite you will you come back to the show next week?
Anytime you need me, man.
I want to talk about this more because it's coming up in September. That's right around the corner.
Yes.
So I want to do that, and hopefully we can get some more bikes for you, and hopefully we can, like you said, raise a lot more money for this. But I want you to come back next week and give us more information on this program, because I think it's a very good program, because it talks about, like you said, the stigma of a suicide. So let's do that for next week.
Sounds great.
Sounds good. You have been listening to the Battle Rhythm podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and also on Radio TV. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be back in my home studio next week. Again, this is Caesar from the Battle Rhythm podcast. We were here from the Louisville, Kentucky on the VFW National Convention. See you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for joining in, and thank you to all my guests that came in today for all the national candidates. So thank you guys so much. Grace, I will see you next week, buddy. Thank you so much for the day. So thank you.
Roll Tide.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk about something close to my heart. Military Broadcast Radio is doing incredible work to support our veterans and bring their voices to the world. They rely on your generous donations and your dedicated volunteer hours to make it happen. I encourage you to consider supporting NBR in any way, form that you can. Use this QR code that's attached to the picture, or you can go to our website at mbradio.us. That's Mike Bravo Radio.us to learn more about how you can donate or volunteer even just an hour a week from your home. Help make a difference in the lives of our veterans, because once again, we're all here for you and not for us.